Next time, Gadget. I promise I'll get you next time.
What's going on there, guys? We're back with another one. And I want to take a look at this segment where Stephen A. Smith speaks about Alexis Ohanian. He's been getting a lot of backlash for the way that he responded both on air and on his show. In comparison to the video, I want you to check it out, and I'll have it linked at the end of this video. The video that I did on LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith's response to him. Granted, more has gone on behind the scenes with them, so it's like comparing apples to oranges, but a lot of people looking at it saying you're not giving that black man the same grace you're giving this white billionaire. You don't give the black billionaire that same grace. And that was a whole thing Steven Jackson did about this probably about 3 or 4 days ago now, saying that Stephen A. handles different people different ways. And we seen Alexis say it himself when he was talking to Charlamagne. He said he went over Stephen A. Smith's head, went straight upstairs and said, you know, which day can I come on? And that's how he ended up promoting something, you know, for ESPN Plus, promoting his sports leagues and different things like that. So that's why people saying Stephen A. was so controlled and mild-mannered when responding to Alexis Ohanian compared to LeBron James. But we're going to get right into it, guys. Let's check it out.
And then last week, Alexis Ohanian comes on the show, and it's the whole big thing about him saying something about you not being married.
Right.
How do you weigh what you say about people because you may have a situation like that or that person is on your show and now you have to deal with them having residual feelings from something you already said?
Well, first of all, let's go to that. Alexis Ohanian, Serena Williams' husband. It would have been an entirely different situation if I were in studio. I'm on remote. You know, you're not looking at the camera. You there to promote something on behalf of ESPN Plus and stuff like that. And don't think for 1 second that I'm going to let some petty spat get in the way of my money. That ain't going to happen. I'm just not going to do that. Okay? I was born at night, not last night. That's number one. Number two, it really wasn't much, because if you think about what I was saying about Serena at the time, it wasn't really about, you know, I was on the air with a couple of other guys, and we were joking about Kendrick Lamar performing Not Like Us at the Super Bowl when Serena Williams came back and danced on stage. And obviously, I don't cover pop culture, but everybody knew that supposedly Drake was her ex and stuff like that. All I said was, you know, and I should not have said it this way, I'll concede that, but in going to commercial, joking around, I said, hey, take your ass back to him. You know what I'm saying? And all I was saying was, is like, most men, I was using it to get into a generic. You know how you're talking about something in football, or you are, and then you'll bring up relationships. Yeah. It's comparatives. All I was saying was, as men, if I'm married and my wife got the energy and the fervor to show up on Super Bowl Sunday and go out on stage specifically to dance off of a song that's disrespecting her ex, my question would be, what's that energy about? Why do you have that energy? Ain't you supposed to be happy with me?
But it was more the LA energy.
I got that.
Yeah.
But you said that.
Yeah.
But I was saying to you how I saw it
right
at the time. You saw it. The other analysts on the show might have saw it differently. Yeah. I wasn't even saying, I know LA, Compton, whole nine, I got it. But what I'm saying, I was saying as men,
right,
we would be like, well, why you got that kind of energy with the ex? And that's where we get into a bigger, broader subject about what pisses me off about how pathetic this industry can be at times. Don't act like you don't agree with me. Don't act like you don't see, meaning you don't see what I'm saying. Don't act like I'm out of left field as a man. You're a woman, I got it. I understand. What dude does not understand what I was saying? But everybody gonna act like they did it because of clicks. And we wanna side with it, we wanna agree with or whatever. I know people who are white in their 60s and are high powered that was like, That was a good point, Stephen A. That's a good point. because we know. And that's all I'm saying. So again, I mean no disrespect. And I ain't trying to make it bigger than what it is and stuff like that. But I would have just said to him to his face if I was in the studio, are we really going to have this discussion? Seriously, bro? Because I'm not going to go there about anything.
And that's what I think. You're in a position in that sense is that you're not, and you shouldn't ask that question to a man about his wife. And that's just one of those situations where you are going to have to eat it. And I think what he's saying too, though, Chan, like, that wasn't his intent, but you can apologize for the impact. Right? Like, if this is some way bother you, that wasn't what I was trying to do. Now, if I don't F with you, then I ain't going to say that because I really don't care how it impacted you. And so I think that sometimes that's part of what we go through. And then obviously, too, that's Serena.
Right.
Yeah, we not disrespecting her in no way.
Never. I would never do that.
And so, like, that's the other piece.
But I'm looking at him like, you going to do this on national television? You going because I was basically saying to him, please don't force me to respond to what you're doing. Yeah. Because of the segment going on 2 minutes longer, and he kept pushing that subject, it was going to be a problem. Because now you're inviting me to ask you. You're inviting, so I'm wrong? I'm wrong as a man for asking the question, oh, why you got that kind of energy? What man do you know gets married believing he's the consolation prize?
Nobody.
Thank you.
Not one.
I have nothing else to say.
You rest your case?
I rest my case. That's all I was saying.
Now, I think Stephen A. definitely represents a good amount of men when he says, like, why do you have that energy? Is it still something there? Why would you even want to be involved with that? That is between those two men. And so by you putting yourself in that, you know you will be a topic of discussion. You know, your old fling and all of that. It's like, you're happy that he's being crushed in a way because you still feel some sort of way about how maybe you guys ended. You know, that's what Stephen A. Smith is saying. Like, your emotions is everywhere. You don't know the intent and you don't know everything emotionally that still could be attached to her, attaching herself to that situation. So I understand the point that he's trying to make. My issue is if Alexis comes on that show and he presses you like that, then you stand on those same things. You stand, because you ain't have to disrespect them to get your point across. You know, he started disrespecting you, saying, I build billionaires. This was basically, and Stephen A. needed to read the tea leaves. He's basically saying, I talk to your bosses. That's who I go into meetings with. So I don't talk to little boys like you. And that's, you don't get much more disrespectful than that. You know, LeBron may have done it a different way, walking up in your face and saying, you know, what he's saying, but at least that man was in your face. When you dust off everything and you look at the truth of the matter, he was in your face, and he probably didn't give you an opportunity, but you could have pursued him and, you know, shouted something back to him if you wanted to. Alexis wanted to put you on TV on the spot and see if you felt comfortable enough to go at somebody who looks like him. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think if Jay Williams or somebody would have had something to say like that, you would have let that slide. We've seen you not let that slide, so don't let it slide just because you are over the monitor at the time. You know, you could say a little something. You could say, I said what I meant, and then if he say what he say, you could at least say, well, Stephen A. stood on it, though. Stephen A. probably didn't say a lot, but he made it known that he stood on it. That's all you had to say. If you didn't feel like that was the time or place, you could have said, well, I stand on what I said. I didn't mean it to be disrespectful, but the way that I meant it, and what I said, I stand by that. And you would have had to respect it, no matter what Alexis would have said. But he tried to little boy you, let you know you're above your pay grade when you talking about him, and that he has power with your bosses. You even said it yourself. I'm not going to mess up my money to respond to him. So that's basically saying that that guy has enough power that if you offend him, then he has influence with your bosses because of maybe some of their business dealings that could get you canned. You feel like, so this is my thing too. Stephen A. keeps saying that, my money, my money. What stipulations do you have in your contract that you can't speak your mind or that you can't say something back to someone who's flagrantly disrespecting you? Does your contract have I can't be a man and stand up for myself clause? Because that's what it sounded like to me. Again, you ain't have to be disrespectful, but you said it on their airwaves and they aired it and they didn't take the video down. So when he came back to what he said, you should have said, yeah, why was she over there with him? Yeah, I've never been married. Like, that couldn't have been me, because he should have said, I ain't never been married, but I ain't no sucker either that's gonna let my girl get up there and do that. Like, that's how he should have came back. You know what I'm saying? And just let it be that and see what happens. But again, Alexis, if he feels threatened or he feels like you said the wrong thing, he probably could go up there and get you suspended and then flex on you like that. So you just didn't want to go at him the same way that you went at LeBron. So that's my thoughts on it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.